Before I begin my presentation, I have to mention that it's really rainy today, and maybe my throat is having some problems. So if I have some mistakes during my presentation, I hope you guys will forgive me. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Hoàng. I come from AI High School. It's totally my honor to stand on the stage to discuss with you guys about a really topic. What examples are there of people damaging the natural world? As you can see that since we are living in the 21st century, the technology era 4.0 has actually drastically improved the living standards of many people. So, in contrast, it also caused a lot of bad consequences we come up with in the future, especially to the natural world. In my opinion, there's going to be some specific examples for this problem that I'm going to mention to you guys right now. To begin with, I'm going to talk about the air pollution. So, as you all can see that nowadays, since there is the industrialization, a lot of factories and companies has been built, and it also means that a large amount of emissions has been released into the atmosphere, which contains a lot of CO2 and methane, which can actually have the ability to trap a lot of heat from the sun and creates the greenhouse effects. And maybe it is estimated that the average temperature of the Earth will increase by 1.9 degrees in 2050, and this is really concerning problems. You also can see that nowadays on the road to Vietnam, a lot of motorcycles are traveling on the roads, and the exhaust fumes of them is really considerable. So it also leads to the air pollution in Vietnam too. On top of that, the overpopulation in Vietnam. It is estimated that Vietnam will nearly reach 100 million people in the near future, and it also leads to the overexploit in natural resources. More fossil fuels will be used, and more methane and CO2 will be released into the atmosphere. Moreover, I also suppose that when there is more and more people living on planets, it can also have more activities that have bad consequences to the future of the natural world. Secondly, let's talk about the soil pollution. As you can see that on the croplands, a lot of farmers nowadays use chemical pesticides and fertilizers, which badly affects the fertility of lands. Maybe it can actually bring numerous productivity for the farmers at first, but it will badly affect their future because it don't have enough fertility for them to grow all the plants in the future. Moreover, many companies and factories help release not only the emissions of air, but also many heavy metals also be disposed into the land. So it also causes to the lack of fertility of the land too. And finally, I'm going to talk about the water pollution. This is really concerning problems. You can see that oil spill from tanker ship accidents are happening regularly on the Pacific Oceans nowadays. So this can actually kill numerous aquatic animals and leads to the extinction of them. Moreover, a lot of households has been estimated in Vietnam, and the emissions of them of the wastewater to the environment, to the lakes or rivers is really considerable. And additionally, according to the government, like I said, the lack of disposing water treatment is also a considerable problem. So yeah, in conclusion, all of the pollutions I have mentioned above is really considerable, and I hope that everybody needs to have their own responsibility and duty to join hands in progress of saving our natural world, to have a better life and healthier life. Thank you for your listening.
Can you?
Yeah, of course. So you gave a lot of examples about how people were damaging the natural world. And now I would like to know what we can do to reduce that.
Oh, actually, I can tell a lot of activities. So for myself, as a high school student, I'm currently taking part in a lot of volunteer work, especially in helping the neighborhood to be cleaner and fresher for people to live in. Moreover, I also recommend the government to have more activities and campaigns for every citizen of our country to have more beneficial activities to help the environment to become better for people to live in. On top of that, schools and teachers also need to provide students with suitable information how important is natural world and what is exactly the most important thing for us to do to save the natural world. And also, I think parents also take the really important responsibility to teach the children to save the environment, to save our lives in the future.
Thank you. And as a second question, I would like to know which of the two examples or examples that you mentioned do you think is worse for the natural environment and why?
That's interesting. Maybe it's going to be air pollution, especially in Vietnam, a developing country in Southeast Asia. You can understand that the population of Vietnam is now really high. So considerably, they can have a lot of vehicles on the roads, a lot of motorcycles and cars has been estimated on the traffic system in Vietnam. So a large amount of CO2 and methane has been estimated into the atmosphere and trap heat. Moreover, the overpopulation also leads to air pollution because the overexploitation of natural resources to the environment. And maybe also the factories and companies' emissions that leads to the